So I've got this branch of cherry, and I harvested it about a year ago. Had been sitting in the shop here for a while, and it got a crack down here at the end. So I don't know exactly whether I can use it or not. In order to know this, I already cut it into half on the bandsaw. It's looking pretty nice, and I'm taking this part here for the build of the handle. So in order to get a layout and in order to get to know how the actual handle will look like in the end, I go ahead and plane this down, and then just back from the planer, and this looks really awesome. Now I go ahead and go over to my computer and start the design process.
In order to make the layout, I started by scanning both the blade and the board, and I'm using Coral right here, and I had a rough idea of the handle, and now I'm just trying to position the handle with the inserted blade to a place where it might not be that interfering with the defects of the wood, like the knots in there. This is also one thing everyone should know about when he's working with a CNC, as this method allows you to incorporate special items of the wood into your work without just guessing what comes out of it. So in the end, you're working with the wood, and you are not telling the wood what it should be in the end. A high resolution scan like I did with 1200 dots per inch also gives you the opportunity to have very accurate trace lines, uh, where you can actually use these trace lines for every program which is needed for CNC.
Okay, in order to rip the side down, I've got some double stick tape on here on this board of plywood, and I'm just removing this double stick tape, and this is just for a one-time use, so I'm not that scared. So I go ahead, adjust this the best I can. Guess. Here we go, this is it. So this is pretty secure on here now, but in order to make it a little more secure, just get this piece of wood here and screw this down. So I raise the blade just in order to see whether it works or not, just a little into the wood now, and I'm just passing it over one time and see how deep it goes in and whether there are some issues now. Okay, now that I got this piece here, I go ahead over to the bandsaw and try to cut two slices slices from this branch. I'll be back in a second. Okay, in order to get this as the inner core, I do have to plane it down to the thickness of the blade here, and the thickness of the blade is, switch it on, switch it on, go to inches, 0.08 inches, which would be millimeters, about 2 millimeters. So this should end up a little thicker than the 2 millimeters, just a hair thicker, in order to have the glue in here. As I can't plane down to 2 millimeters, I go ahead and use some double stick tape and tape this down to this sacrificial board here, and this will, I hope this will work, that I can get this down to the 2 millimeters now already, although the blade isn't sharpened, or it's cutting very nice. Okay, so just head over to the planer and send this thingy through here, and I'm hoping that I end up with a 2 millimeter thick board in the end. Okay, now the board is just a hair thicker than the blade, and I hope I can get this off without breaking it now. Now that I've got them in here, I'm just using a 6 millimeter drill bit to drill through these all of these boards in order to have an alignment, so all these boards stay aligned afterwards. Okay, for the second hole here, these are important holes for the glue up. Now I go ahead and cut away the top here at the bandsaw, just from the inner piece here, and then okay, so I cut away this angle here, and then I go ahead and use my scroll saw and cut away on this inner piece, so the blade can rest inside here. Okay, this looks pretty nice, so go ahead and cut away on this side here, and then I'll try to reveal the place where I insert the knife. let's check whether I need some sanding or not. And this is pretty tight. I just guess I need to sand away a little on here. Just trying to do this with the blade here. Yes, excuse me, I guess this is it, yeah. Okay, so I remove the pattern here, then it's time for the glue up. Now for the glue up, as I always say, the fun part starts. I've got some, well, it says power glue. I don't know what this is called in America or whatever, but I know that my father used to, as we had been making remote controlled boats, he used to use this stuff to actually glue in everything where it needed to be very strong, where you need a very strong joint. Okay, this goes this way. You've got three different sizes of, well, actually in the end amount of glues you've got, and you just measure the amount of hardener into the bowl there, and then try to add some of this, in the end, hard and sticky stuff. Just pour that in until it gets flush with the, there we go. This is it, and this should be the exact mixture now. I hope this works, but I'm not sure. Well, prior the glue up, I just covered the blade with some blue tape at the points where the glue shouldn't stay, so it will be easy to remove the glue on that. So just have to carefully, and this is always a mess as the hardener powder gets out of this here. And, okay, so you mix it up until you get a nice even, well, glue mixture or whatever, and this will harden within 10 minutes, and then it's solid as a rock. 1 square centimeter is capable of holding 150 kilograms, so I can hang on a square piece like this easily. As I meant, this, as I mentioned, this is called the extreme sticky stuff. So just wipe off the excess here in order to have the blade as clear as possible from the glue. That's nice. The squeeze out is really, really nice. Okay, so let this sit for half an hour, and then I see what this is sticky stuff is hard now, and this is really hard, and now I just go ahead and sand away on the outsides here in order to reveal this parts and get this flush for putting it on the scroll saw again. Now the dowels come into place the second time. Go ahead and align the template with the actual dowel point and the blade here on top, and this, oops, okay, start here on the top of the blade, and just move that over. Okay, here I am. So I stick one side to the board, then I remove the second part of the cover, liner of the double-sided tape, and I should not get in contact with this side here. Right. Guess I just messed it up. Not that. Okay, it's not that bad. I guess. I don't know. Okay. Just get this one here. Okay. Grab the pencil. I guess this will be the handle. So now I go ahead and cut this down with a scroll saw. Yep. No, I might even take the table. I take the bandsaw and just cut down close to the line with the bandsaw. I just cut away on the upper part here, and I go over to my disc sander and sand down to the line. Okay, now that the upper part is sanded, I can go ahead and cut away on the bottom part, and then I'll sand this at the drum sander. So this is actually what I got out of it after sanding with my machines, and now it's just a matter of, I guess, of using sandpaper, sand away the rest of the marks here, sand it real smooth, and then just give it a slight round over. That's enough for this handle. And I guess I call this finished. Well, the blade has to be polished, and but I'll do that on a later stage when I get the polishing stuff for polishing blades. Well, this project is more like sanding and getting it to a shape I love to have, and now I'm at the end of my sanding, and I go ahead and sand away the last couple of sand away on the surface here now with some 400 grit sandpaper, and it had been a lot of shaping and testing during the time. I sanded this one now, and well, actually it came up, the basic shape I made on the computer had been pretty nice, and I wanted to have this comfortable in my hand with the control of having something which goes in the direction of the blade. Instead of having a round handle, this shape here is, well, you've got a surface which is parallel to the blade, and you got a surface which is perpendicular to the blade. And in this way you can grab this very nicely. Well, this bow I made the handle. The reason for that is your hand isn't straight like a dowel. Well, the dowel is a handle for a delicate tool like this. So this actually fits right into the palm of my hand, and I have very good control over it, while a lot of surface is actually has contact with my hand. So I'm really able to control the blade with my hand rather than just looking at the tool where it goes. I've never carved before, and I've never made something like this before, but as it is right now, it feels pretty perfect. So I finish up with 600, and I wipe away the sawdust from the 400 with dust cloth here, rather than blowing all the dust into the air. And I'm just finishing up with the 600 just to get a real smooth surface, and then I'll apply a coat of sanding sealer, and like I do on my turnings. And for applying the sanding sealer, I do have to cover the blade, as I don't want to have any sanding sealer on the blade. And I'm using the blue tape. This feels real nice now. I'm just using blue tape now for covering the blade, and then I apply a coat of sanding sealer. So I guess applying sanding sealer to a piece of wood is as boring as watching me sanding. I'll come back with a finished knife. Okay, now that the second coat of sanding sealer is dry, I cut down with some 600 grit sandpaper, and I don't use a lot of pressure. And after that I'm using this pad, which is actually like steel wool, just that it is no steel in here. And this is something similar to 1000 grit. And just wipe across here, so I don't have any ridges. Now go ahead and wipe off the dust with the dust cloth, and apply some wax to the wood. Now that the second coat of wax is cured, I go ahead and buff out the wax with a soft cloth, and you can also use the brush I normally use on the lathe, but I guess, well, for a small thingy like this, no, this is perfect. This is perfect. And the the surface will be better with every coat of wax I put on here. So when it gets some nicks and dents in here while I use it, I'm always able to, well, just apply another coat of wax, and this will protect the wood and will keep the tool worth. So just get this off here, and here is the finished. And here is the finished piece. And it's actually, as I said, it's nice in the hand, and you can direct it the way you want, as you got the surfaces here either perpendicular to the blade or parallel to the blade, and it feels nice. And I'm curious about what I can do with that. As during the build, oh, I get you. So actually, I'm really happy how this turned out, and thanks to Dominic for your challenge tree, and I'm glad that I found this. Well, this is just the other half of the branch I used, and I could make my own stock, and just rather by turning natural edge bowls or something like that. I think this is another great addition for my shop, as I have to, well, practice on the scroll saw, as I saw on here. It had been better to cut away on the bandsaw with this curve than with the scroll saw. But I guess this is also, well, my intention for this one is to use it on scroll saw work, like making details on that. But this will be for a future project. So in a way, as a woodworker, we are able to turn something, well, firewood, or, well, people would call it firewood if this wouldn't be treated the way, you know, like drying it over the time. So you are able to turn firewood into something really useful and well, beautiful in the end. So thank you very much for watching, and all the best for all the other entries to the challenge tree of Dominic Bender, and thanks Dominic for putting up this challenge, as this gives, well, inspiration to all of us woodworkers. So with that said, it's with greetings from good old Germany, your Peter Freitag. Thank God it's Friday.